Just today, as I was doing some walking meditation, just walking up and down the path and thinking, to lift the foot. What if, you might die even before your foot touches the ground? Just bearing that in mind, taking the Maranassati to that level where you lift your foot and then you're assuming, the assumption is, I'm going to get to the end of the path. So I don't think it, I just assume it. I'm going to walk from here to get to there. And that's going to happen. Really? Who says that? That's it's not a thought, is it? It's not something I'm deliberately thinking and planning and scheming about. It's just this level of assumption. And what that does, when I assume that in the back of my mind, I walk up and down for an hour, do walking meditation for an hour, so how long should I do walking meditation for? Some people say you should do a lot of it. Paul Liam did 3 hours, 6 hours a day. Do I really need to do that? My feet, I get tired. Well, I'd like to do sitting meditation, and this sort of stuff, and how long for, and what's the right system, the speed, and while walking meditation, it's already gone wrong. This isn't walking meditation. This is walking proliferation, which I'm quite good at already. Walking meditation is like something here is doing what we call walking. When you break it down, what is it? A series of sensations, and you're just staying in the present with that. Staying present with that, the contact, the impression. And then there's something there, still feeling there's a continuity, still feeling there's something there going on, There's something there accumulating that experience. There's something there that's doing the walking. You start to, where's that? What is it that sticks that point, that sensation to that memory? It says, I am walking. What's that? There's this sensation, and that sensation sits within a field of assumption of, that was, it's not verbal, but the assumption is there's somebody here doing the walking, and we'll go on, we'll do 5 of these and so forth, this is going quite nicely, or whatever. What's that? This is for meditation, this is one of our, our difficulties, you could say, or our less apparent difficulties, because of course there are many challenges and difficulties, but the Buddha's pointing to certain root assumption difficulties, and one of these is assumption of permanence. Assumption of permanence. It's an assumption, it's a perception. Anicca is a perception. The perception of permanence, which means this experience is stuck to a memory of a past experience, a sense of continuity. And that continuity will always engender a future. It will always engender the sense of something next. Something happened a second ago, or a minute ago, so something will happen in another second's time, another minute's time. There will be a next. This may not seem like a problem because it's the way we operate, but in meditation, for insight, it's exactly this piece we're starting to, cut or drop the sense of next. Because when the sense of next is there, this is called becoming, this is where it is, and then next, and then there'll be a next, and then where will it get me to? That starts to come in. How well am I doing? Where will it go to? What will happen after 10 minutes of this, or an hour of this, or how long does it take before I get somewhere with this? How long do you have to meditate? How many years do you have to meditate? How many lifetimes do you have to meditate before? That's where it starts with a second. It goes to a minute. It extends to an hour. It becomes a career. It takes you into the next birth of next. And so when we prime the mind with Maranassati, you say, what about if there's no next? Yeah. Why does there have to be a next? What's that? And you see, it's just a piece of mental structure, a piece of mental concoction, a piece of mental imagination. There's just this. And there's no past in there either. So we begin to break up, or not keep concocting that tenacious piece of mythology of time. And when time passes, time is not being created, desire, apprehension, gain and loss is not being created. And the self who's stuck in it, stuck in time, stuck in gain and loss, is not being created. This is the benefit. This is how it really comes to fruit. As the mind is then released from these concoctions. In meditation, this is something we can do. This is something we can tune into. We don't need the time there. Daily life, yeah, you have to bear that in mind. You try and clean up your becoming into something that's trim, suitable, not going to be a burden, not going to weigh you down. You trim it, you clean it, you rehearse it, you look at it, you groom it every day. What do you don't need? Yeah. Let your becoming be at least something you're conscious of and clear about and contented with. But then when you come to meditation, how much of that do you really need anymore? Because the Buddha was very clear, saying, the deathless nibbana is the end of becoming. So to bear this in mind, this is where it goes to. In our life, our situation here, this wonderful opportunity, having been offered this teaching, the Buddha's teaching, place to practice, companions in the way, safe, trustworthy guardians, reasonable body. This is like, don't use it, don't quibble over it, don't get lost in the details. Don't get fussing about who's got the best knees, or whatever. Don't go there, This is like a raft of reeds on the ocean, like reeds, a raft of reeds. It will only last so long before it breaks up. But it's last long enough. This is the possibility of the sasana, of the Buddha Dhamma, of Bhikkhu Monastery, of this particular occasion that's come to us in our lives. It's a raft of reeds. It's going to be good enough, long enough, adequate to do what you need to learn to fly, to get off. Don't spend your time in a raft of reeds playing chess or fiddling around trying to shape it up. Just make it decent, clear, so you can do what you need to do. This is our way of recollecting, and then our lives are kind of free from entanglement and perpetuity and all that accumulation. And then we see, well, on this time, what can one bring forth in sharing, in friendship, companionship, encouragement? Let that be done. Please do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it today. What is to be practiced? Practice now. Practice today. Do it clearly. This way we will use this raft for its true purpose. The Buddha said it's there like even the Dhamma itself. Carry us across, not to be carried round in your head afterwards, after you got to the other shore. Just use it. and keep it in good shape. We recollect this. This doesn't make us despise our bodies, but realize the precious opportunities they have to look after them so they become a vehicle for liberation. You look after the friendships and the companionships, not despise them or reject them because you're going to leave them, but treasure them as something we have this day for, precious day for. It's quite likely, it seems unlikely, that I will see all of you again before I die. So there's something to be said, something to be done, something to be encouraged. I do it now.